I'm your host, Kinetic, and you're watching GameOnEnd. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at World Quest Helpers. As always, we're going to be using add-on control panel to enable and disable as we go. So let's take a look at our first add-on. Angry World Quests. So World Quests are a thing that most of us probably take a look at, each time we log into the game, take a look at what rewards are available and what kind of things we're working on, if it's reputation or gold or gearing up a new character. And finding that information quickly and easily, to me, seems to be the most important thing. The default UI does not do a great job of doing that. All you have available are basically these circles on the specific map that you're looking at that show you that there's something there, and you basically have to hover over it to see what the quest is, what the reward is. But if you zoom out to a larger map, this would normally be blank and you wouldn't be able to see really what's going on. So a lot of these add-ons that we're looking at today, the focus is just to quickly be able to see what's available on the whole. To me, the mark of a good add-on for this is something that quickly lets you jump between different categories, filtering things well, and being able to see things clearly and quickly. So as you can see here with this first one, which is Angry World Quests, we can zoom out now and see the rest of the map zones and see what quests are available. And of course, this works, for BFA and for Legion. It does not show at the topmost level here, but as soon as you go into that level, and then you can click on any other zone and see. What this one focuses on primarily is just integrating pretty simply and looking like part of your regular world map and quest list. So it's not giving you too many extra options, but by default out of the box, it's just showing you the quests that are available, sorting them here by the type of reward. We can hover over each one here and see what the rewards are. And then some quick little filters here. So if you just want to see things that have loot, then you can click on the loot and it'll show you just the items that are available from World Quests and filters out the rest of the map, so everything goes away. We can look at items, so this would be trade goods or pet charms, anything like that. And then we can modify what filters are available here. So let's take a look at the menu. Okay, so in the menu here, we have the filters that are available on that list there. So right now we just have emissaries, loot, and items, but you can add in any of these things. You can also add in a sort by option so that you can sort them by time remaining or by the reward type or by zone. Then we have a few overall options here. So we have where it shows at the quest log, whether to only show stuff for the current zone. So when we zoomed into that map, it only showed the items that were there for that zone, but you can have it just show them all the time. You can disable that option where we clicked on the armor and then it hid all the other world quests that were on the map. Then we have the option to hide things that we're not currently tracking, show items when we hover over them, even if they're hidden. And then we can also do the loot filtering here, and then we can have it show just items that are upgrades for us. So if you don't want to see, say shoulders that are 20 eye levels lower than what you currently have equipped, you can just have that checked there. And then here's what checking that does. So whether it's showing strictly by eye level, up to same eye level, or ranges below it. So if you just want to see items because maybe they're going to Titan Forge or something, you can look at things that are up to 5 levels below your current eye level. Now, of course, a lot of things are upgrades even though they are same eye level or lower eye level. So, use that at your own discretion. And then here we have the default sorting, which I just have it by what the reward is for the quest. So you could see, everything was grouped together by whether it's gold or armor or whatever. And then the filtering by time remaining. So if you're just trying to clear the board every day and you want to see, hey, I'll be able to come on later tonight, so I just want to clear out the stuff that's going to expire before I can do that, then you can say do the things, that are going to expire within 3 hours, whatever. So when you do the time left option here, then that will go ahead and just show you the quests that have the time remaining. So we'll go into an area here that has a world quest and we'll see that it pops up. Nothing else special, nothing for, group finding or any of that. So pretty simple, but just gives you a very basic way of just being able to filter through those and see them on the larger map. So if you're going for something pretty simple, this might be a great option for you. Okay, so let's take a look at the next add-on. Okay, the next one is Better World Quests. Okay, so very similar. This one is super simple. I don't believe there's even any options for it. All this is doing here is just giving you better icons. So instead of just having the symbols there for the world quest, instead you can actually see what the reward is in the icon. So we can see the pet charms here, the icon for the neck piece that's there, a lot of Sargeras. And then zooming out, we can also, again on this one, see everything on the zoomed out map, which is pretty nice. I really like the look of this one. I wish this one had a little more functionality to it, like the filtering and stuff like that, but this one doesn't do any of that. It's basically just giving you better icons and letting you see them zoomed out on the world map. But I really love the look of these icons because it's pretty clear and easy to see what's what, but without filtering, it makes it a little harder to know, which ones you actually want to go for. So let's say if I just wanted to clear the board for gold, I can see pretty clearly which ones are gold here, but it'd be nice to be able to filter down to just gold. So let's see what happens when we go into a quest area. So nothing extra pops up, nothing for joining groups here. So that's pretty much it. This one is the simplest of all of them, no filters, nothing like that. But if you really just want the better icons and to be able to see it on the zoomed out map, this is a great simple option. Okay, so let's take a look at the next add-on. Okay, so the next one is World Quest Tracker, which also comes with this World Quest Assistant. You can disable this one if you don't want the group finding help and stuff like that. If you just want the world quest icons and stuff like that, but you can't run this one without this. So we'll leave it with both though by default, and we can see what extra features are there. Okay, so we can see with this add-on, we've got a lot of extra features and functionality. For starters, it's changed all the icons. So same as the previous one, but they're a little dimmed out, but you can see at least what the rewards are right in the icon. Then we also have this added functionality, which is time remaining on the emissaries. And then we also have this kind of grouping, which shows you some totals. So you can look at the zone and say, if I clear the board here of gold, I'll be able to get 44 gold. Or if I zoom out, then we can see these all tallied up here. Can also see all the icons on the world map. Kind of does this odd dimming thing. I guess it makes it a little easier to just see the map, but I guess if the point is to see these, then I'm not sure if I like the dimming or not, but the dimming on the side I guess would be okay. But anyhow, we have these options here to toggle the view of this. So right now we have it on grouping everything that we're looking at by rewards. So we have gold and trade goods and supplies and stuff like that. And then we have armor and upgrades there, but we can also sort it by zone. So we can see here, this is everything that's in Stormheim, Suramar, Broken Shore, etc. So you can kind of see maybe what zone you want to fly into, or you can just hide that and just see the map. And then we can also disable this. So the nice thing is that if you really want to just hide everything, you can do nothing, which I guess if you need to see that view. But if you just want the summaries, then that's kind of nice there, having your map clear, and you can just quickly select one. It'll show you now where to go for that quest. So if I say, hey, I want to get this chest here, then it'll mark that. And you can notice that you can kind of make yourself a little route here. We can mark, say, those are the things I want to get done, and here's where I am. You can make yourself a little path, which is actually pretty cool. And then of course, clicking it again will uncheck it. You can also right click on these waypoints and add them to TomTom if you have that or whatever. You can also send these waypoints to people in a group or whatever. So if you're telling somebody where to meet you, you can click on and say, hey, this world quest, send somebody this waypoint, and if they're running the add-on, they can see it as well. That's kind of cool. And then otherwise, we can see these factions. So if we're just looking for quests by a specific faction, then can click these here so we can see if we're looking for Champions of Azeroth reputation, then we can click that and it'll clear the board and just show us things that work for that faction. And otherwise we just have these tallies here and stuff like that. So all of the options are here. We have statistics, which would show us like tallies of the quests that we've done. We can see how much gold we've earned account-wide or resources we've collected in certain time periods. And then you can close that here. We have time remaining, so we can just show things by what time they have remaining on them. We can also have it show the time left text. We can fade these quests out, and then we can also sort them by time. If we want to sort by time there and show the time left. So here this just shows things that are up. Here this shows the remaining time on these quests, so you can quickly see if something's about to go away, you know, in an hour or whatever. Okay, so then we have the filters here. If you don't want to see something, you can uncheck it. These ones, if you're looking for reputation things, but say that we have gold missions filtered out, but we're going for a faction, then it'll still show that mission if it awards the reputation for that faction. So that's kind of nice. And then you can do this if you want it to ignore the filtering for like Nazjatar or something like that, because, you know, you may just be trying to clear the board of those quests, but in older zones, you know, you may not care about trade materials or artifact power or whatever. Then we have the sort order. This is just a quick way to order these, but we can move reputation up just by clicking it. Equipment by clicking it, move gold up. So quick, easy way to lay this out, whatever way you prefer. And of course, if you go to the ordering by zone, then this sort order will dictate the order of these here as well. And then we have overall just the add-on options. So we can quickly blacklist things. We can untrack all of them. You can disable if you don't want it to use your waypoint arrows. You can centralize the map. This will force the map to be in the middle of your screen. You can have it show information, additional information for emissary quests, progress status bars, anchor on top if you want this to stay on top of everything. The icons for equipment. So if we are showing these, we can have it whether it shows the icon for armor or just one generic thing. And then we can disable animations if you don't like those. We can hide the factions here. We can turn off sound. And the sound we'll see in a second what that all ties into. And then we have some options here for some accessibility options to help people if they have trouble seeing certain things on here. We also have a built-in rare finder, which is kind of cool. You can basically have icons for rares that you've come across, and then you can have it play a sound if it comes across a rare on the minimap. And then you also have this option, which is nice. Even if you mute your game sound, you can still have it play the sound for the rare. So if you're just sitting tabbed out maybe and camping at a rare spawn, you just want to, you don't want to hear the game sound, but you want to hear that, then you can put sound on in the background, but mute all your game sounds and then just turn that option on. And the only thing that you'll hear in the background is if they're rare spawns. Then we have some group finder options, which we'll see in a second when we fly into this area. So you can have it automatically leave, automatically prompt to join a group, options to don't show these things on certain instances. Then we have the options for the map. We can have it show any of these options, make things larger or smaller, show only tracked quests. Then we have the world map options. So now we're out to the large map. We have lots of options here. And then lastly, we have the actual tracker configuration. So we can change the size of that. We can disable the quest tracker if you don't want that. We can change the text size of the tracker. Automatic tracking when you click on something. Custom position. And then whether it always only shows the current zone and the time remaining on everything. So we'll see now what happens when we fly into the quest area. So we get this pop-up here and automatically says, do you want to look for a group? So sure, let's look for a group. If it finds one, it will try and queue you into it. If it doesn't, you can create a new group with that option. But you can see here we also now have these two new options. So we can form a group, or we can find a group. We also have this here. So if you want this to have a little more control, you can have it ignore this quest. This is a great feature too, is that you can look for players that are within targeting range, and it will invite them. So you'll get names in this list here. You can click on their name and it will send them a group invite. Really nice if you don't want to necessarily use the group finder, you just want to play with people on your realm. Then you'll just see nearby players. But of course now with the sharding and stuff, you're going to be seeing people from other realms anyways. But then you can also just search. So you can type in thing here, it tells you the ID of the quest. And then no group, so you can just put it in, and then the next person who's looking for that group can find it. And then a quick little button here to leave the party, also leave group here. So you can choose, what you want to use here. If you don't want this bigger tracker, you can disable this here. You can also have it open on rares. So if you're looking for elite rares or whatever, and you need a group to help kill it. And then these are the options for the objective tracker here if you want those. And then leave group options. So when you complete a quest, you can have it just automatically leave. As soon as you complete the quest, leave after a couple of seconds, and then you can set that time here. And then don't leave, just ask, or just don't even bother to show anything. So all of those things are there. Then we can quickly leave and come in and do that. So this one, I think, as far as right out of the box, not having to do a lot of customization, it's kind of on that line. There's some things that you're going to want to set up, the filtering, the sort ordering, and then just quickly choose, the visibility, like what you want to see. If you want to see, this layout or having things off or whatever, then, that kind of stuff is all pretty quick and easy. Other than that, you may not need all this extra stuff, but it's nice that it's there. And the group finder stuff, I think, this is probably one of the best implementations I've seen of the group finder options. Pretty good setup for that. Alrighty, so let's take a look at the next add-on. Okay, so the next one is World Quest List. Okay, so World Quest List changes the icons here a little bit, shows you the reward in the icon, but instead of doing something on the map or doing something in the quest list, it just adds this secondary list to the right. You have filter options here. You can search for different things. If you're just looking for bloods or whatever, you can type that in. Essence, Then you have the options here for the add-on. So you can turn on or off the looking for group search. So these are all things that you can disable if you don't want those to happen. Then you have the options for the arrow, turning it on or off if you're using TomTom. And then the scale of it. And you can lock it. And then you can also use the arrow for regular quests. Then you have the scale of this. So if it's too big on your screen, you can shrink it down a little or make it bigger if you can't read it. Then where it's anchored. So if you want to just make it free floating, then you can move that around wherever you want it. If you want to anchor it to the bottom of your map. And then you can also anchor it to the inside, I guess, but it makes it pretty hard to read. So you'd want to bump this scale up. And then you have where icons are visible. So you can just hide certain zones if you don't care about them. Then this is for whether you want to see these icons being changed with the rewards or not. If you just want the generic one, you can disable this completely. Otherwise, you can choose which of these options you want. And then the scale of the icons on the map, the size of the list, if you want the menu bar at the top, or the bottom summary line, how many lines at most it can show. Then we have highlighting for when new quests pop up. Some filtering here for Legion stuff if you don't want to see the Legion ones. This is a helper for the Enigma world quests, and this is the one for the barrels. It doesn't have helpers for any of the BFA ones that I've seen so far. And then we have the sorting here, so we can sort by whatever you want to see. At the top here, time remaining, what zone it's in, faction it's for, rewards, how far it is from you. And then we have filters. So you can quickly uncheck all, you can check all, and then of course just do individual ones, and then you can ignore the filter for certain things. So if you're trying to track down artifact power, then even if you uncheck PvP quests, but if there's one for artifact power or whatever it is, those will still do those. So you can hide and show pretty much whatever you really want to see, and then sort it any way you like. And now we can see the bigger list here out on the zone. We can also see Argus added in here, and it'll do the same for Mechagon and Nazjatar. We can see the big list of everything here, and we can sort it by any of these. So we can click on name, or by rewards, by faction, time remaining. So you don't have to necessarily do the sort here. You can just click on these titles here. And so now when we fly into the area for it, we'll see we get this little bar here to find a group. You of course don't have to use it, but you can. You also get a find group here. You can search for it by the quest number like we saw in the previous add-on. You can also search for it by the name, or you can right click to go straight to just forming your own group for it. But if we look here, we'll see the quest obviously has the same number because that is actually the internal number for the quest. So we can see somebody else has a group here for it, and we can click to join that, or we can just start a group for that number. But we can also shift click to search by the name. Should be doing that. Oh, it doesn't seem to want to do that, but let's... Oh, okay, there we go. So because we already had it in the search box, we had to clear that out. But basically now we can search by the name. And then right click will go straight to creating a group. And then when you complete the group, it'll pop up the same thing asking if you want to leave the group. So pretty straightforward. Everything's right there in front of you. You still have your map looking the same way as normal, but you just have this separate thing here for that. It does have the group finding stuff, so that's nice, but it doesn't have any helpers or extra stuff for any of the BFA stuff currently. So let's take a look at the next add-on. So our last one here is World Quest tab, and we also have the optional thing. You have to download this separately, but it is the World Quest tab utilities. Okay, so we'll see that it has just given us the icons again are updated to show the rewards, but nothing else is different here. We do have some little stars here to show us what we've completed for each of these, how many we've completed. So you don't necessarily have to click on it to get these bubbles. You can just see it there. You'll also see here that hasn't shown anything by default on here. So what we have to do is click into this tab, and we will see that there's a filter on temporarily because we had clicked on that emissary, so we click that off. Now this here is all part of that extras add-on. So if you don't download the second module for this, then you won't get any of this. And if you don't want it, then it doesn't really matter. All it's adding in is some of these summary things and a little bit more functionality as far as like secondary stuff. Nothing for the main things of tracking the add-ons and seeing all that. We'll take a look at the options in 1 second here. But if we click on the tab here, we'll see that we can see the list here, and we can sort it by whatever we want here, by rewards, by faction, distance, all of that stuff. Then we have the filters that are available, so only things that go towards emissaries. We can just hide specific factions, so if you don't care about prestige boxes, if you've exalted with Rust Bolt resistance, then you can just uncheck that and it'll no longer show you quests for that reputation. And then of course you can hide Legion stuff here if you don't care about that. Then we also have filtering by type, so you can get rid of PvP quests if you don't do those, pet battle quests if you don't do those. And then we have the settings here for the add-ons. The default stuff is all here at the top. So we have the looking for group buttons, whether we want it to save the filtering and sorting. So between sessions, I like to leave that on so that I just get it the way that I like it by default and then leave it there. But some people may want it to just reset every time they log out. Auto emissary was what we just saw. When I clicked on the emissary thing here, it automatically kicked in that filter. Then we have some quest log counters showing us, how many quests we have in our normal quest log. This is the little stars showing us the progress towards the emissaries, which you can turn off if you don't want it. Then we have the things that are available here. So we can do more full timers for the quests. So not just by the hours. Always show all quests. Show the zone labels for the breakdown here. So if we zoom out to the big list here, we can see that it shows everything, but it's all in one list. So if you want it to show the titles for what zone it's by, then you can click on that. Then we have the map pin settings. We can add reward types to the pins when we add these pins in. We can do larger pins if you have trouble seeing them, how much time is left on the pins. And then we can show these little rings, which this is my favorite part of this add-on, is that right in each quest you can see the duration until this quest goes away. So we can see like ones that are short, and it's nice, you know, we just turned on the showing the time on it, but you can turn that time off and have a nice, you know, cleaner look to it, but you can still see how much time is left on it. And I really like that option to just see the time remaining on a ring. I also like that these aren't filtered out or harder to see or anything. So you can see here, we click into any of these and we can jump right to where the quest is. And if we click on something, then we'll see that it will jump right to it. We also still have the find group options here. So it'll show us the number we have to type in to search for that group. And then we can start a group from there if we don't find one. Now we also have the options here whether we wanted to use the waypoint arrow, waypoint on click, waypoint on track, and then whether we want to allow it to use TomTom at all. And then the utilities is the additional module. So this is this sidebar tracking. We also have this option for a direction line. So this shows which way your character is heading. So if you're quickly just looking at the map, you may be, you know, flying the wrong way or whatever, or you can line up, you know, if you're going to kind of do the AFK thing, you know, you can just point exactly towards the quest area. If you're flying across a big zone or whatever, you can basically just go, hey, I'm going right to that quest, and put it on, you know, auto run and go grab a drink or whatever and come back, and you should be right on track. You're not going to end up in a completely different zone or whatever. And then this is this sidebar stuff called the tallies. So you can basically show the totals. And this is the reason why I like this secondary module, is mainly for this, because you can basically zoom out on, you know, Mechagon or any of the zones individually and then just see, hey, if I clear out the board, there's 613 gold here, or whatever you're going for. So if you're quickly just trying to see how much gold you can make if you cleared out all of the world quests, then you can just zoom out. You can see it right there. You can also see these pins from pretty far out, which is also nice. And so then we fly into the area for this. And we can see nothing popping up, nothing doing anything crazy, but we can quickly click the eye here and look for a group for this quest. Okay, so I think that's going to round it up. Now, of course, we did go through. I tried a few more add-ons that were up on the various add-on websites. A lot of them were really out of date and basically just crashed a lot, didn't work very well. This is really the focus of what we're trying to get here, is, you know, being able to quickly see on our map what we're looking for and what's available, and filter that stuff by what we care about and what we don't. So I hope this helps you get through those world quests a little quicker each time you log in. Let me know in the comment section which one you tried out and which one you ended up liking the best. That will do it for this episode. If you've enjoyed this, remember, pressing the like button is absolutely free. Subscribe and stay tuned for more Game on End.